You see, balance is a very natural thing. It defines the order and the law, separates malice and valor. It is the hand that guides the will of many, and the sight that blinds the mute. But all this, balance must too balance on something. The earth where all laws are made and deeds are done. A fascinating place swarming with fragile life. I am curious now, and this thirst will soon be quenched. I shall walk on this earth, for I am Earthshaker. Hello everyone, I am the Holy Hermit, and I welcome you to episode 1 of Dota 2 lore. In this series, I will shed light on lore of each Dota 2 character by staying true to their tale and only filling the voids with my humble imagination. So let's start this series by exploring the tale of Earthshaker. Earth, the sacred ground that harbors all living beings. Evil or lawful, the trait is never in question, for the undying love of the earth is there for everyone's nourishment. And just so as you know, there are many earths, countless beyond belief, but they all do share this affection with the beings that walk all over them. Life in itself comes from the earth and will perish with earth, but there is something that dwells in earth, basking in its eternal warmth. Some lives owe their allegiance to their kind. Humans would be such a case, but they too did rise from the warmth of the earth. Others, like golems or gargoyles, are simple beings, for their hide is the earth itself, and so it has been for countless eons. But there is another form of life, and it created itself through an act of will. No creator, no protector, just will giving rise to this majestic being. You see, lives flourished and lives lingered on the face of the earth, and it, yes, it was all this from within. An entity that knows no bounds, holds no allegiance, and is truly free from the laws and shackles. One must know that life is something to be lived, whether it lasts a blink of an eye or countless centuries. Even immortality can be a curse when all one does is sleep in a slumber, and that is what it did for countless of seasons. But seasons change. New lives spring on the face of the earth. Such is the law that governs the beings, but it, even though it is free from all these laws, grew curious, merely curious. Its home, between one stone and other, lay a testament of the life moving above it. So was the time when it decided to wake up and gaze at the new world just above its precious earth. So during the season of tremors, when the peak of Nishai roared at all living beings, this being decided that it was time to bid farewell to his home and venture above the lands unknown. Just out of mere curiosity, but every being, ethereal or mortal, gets attached to its ways, the sight around him, and so it was with it too. So when its journey was about to commence, it decided to take its life force with itself. Now you are curious and must be wondering, a being that created itself must be the life force itself. But no, the creation did occur within the warm earth, so its spirit is a part of the earth. The peaks of Nishai shook the world above with mighty avalanches and changing the course of rivers, making way for the prodigal child of earth itself. As it appeared on the surface, it sought for a shape, a skin, for what his will if not the ability and courage to do deeds. And his deed, his curiosity, must too have a form. So it adorned the hide of a mortal beast. Anything would have sufficed really, for hide is merely needed to perform its will. Its strength was magnificent as it hurled giant boulders with great ease, and with its newfound purpose, it named itself Rhaegor Stonehoof. An appropriate name of someone so different, for a stone holds more in common with it than a mortal being. His will is to explore, and with every choice he made, he had what you and I would call disadvantages. For his hide was now mortal, and it can now be pierced by a spear, and drown if it tires out in the vast seas. But his spirit, that unfathomable spirit he brought from the earth, he carries in his totem, for he is now one with it. I keep saying this, but such is the law of the mortal world he must abide to. For he one day shall grow out of his hide, and that day he must return to his earth, not as a warrior who lost or won a battle, not as a being that was attached to life or death, but as a son, as a hermit that wandered to unknown lands and returned home as a learned being. This has been the Holy Hermit for you, and you just heard the tale of Rhaegar Stonehoof, the Shaker of Worlds, and yes, there may be many Earths, but there can only be one Earthshaker.